weekend on Friday and Saturday for 2 shows. We'll be back in Bend at OSU Cascades. And part of this, another aspect of the Live Theater community with our roadshow program is also what we call an immersive experience, where we like to take key themes of a production and the material and create various events like this one. And so with the Tiny Beautiful Things, since it's really based around anonymous letters that Cheryl Strayed received when she was writing the Dear Sugar advice column, and she responded to it, I was like, I wonder if we could do the same thing, but in a more community-wide project, which turned out to be the Tiny Beautiful Letter Project. So I launched the survey form to accept letters in March, and I've been promoting it throughout our tour. And I've received letters not only here in Deschutes County, but also Cook County. And also it's kind of taken on a life of its own. And I've received letters from as far as Indiana, Montana, Texas, Santa Cruz. And I received around 30 letters total. What you'll hear tonight is a curation of about 20 of them, read by these phenomenal letter readers here with us today. And we'll see what this is. It's kind of an experiment. That's kind of one of the best things about the arts, is that anything could be an experiment, anything could be possible, and why not just think of an idea and see what could happen, and look what just happened. It's just really cool. Yes, yeah, let's have it. If you haven't gotten the chance to see the show, we do have 3 chances left. Friday is sold out, but there is possibility that we can accommodate walk-ins. There's very limited tickets left for our 2 shows on Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. If you'd like to purchase a ticket at the end of the show, you're more than welcome to do so. But before we begin, I just want to do quick introductions. We have Bola here, we have Ed, we have Carly, we have Aaron, and we have Amy. And also, Aaron's really connected in the arts community, and he's like, hey, with your letter project, I know some poets. Do you love poets? And I said, yes, I love poets. So we have Sarah here with us, as well as Mel. And Mel will start us off today with our poetry reading. So welcome to the Tiny Beautiful Letter Project.
Hello. My name is Mel. I am the Cairo poet, also known as Amalizria, aka Ezra, aka Leroy, aka Jeremiah. I have a lot of names. I like to be a little anonymous at times myself. I've been writing and performing my act of dramatic theatrical poetry for a couple of years now. I was diagnosed with a complex speech and language disorder. And for a long time, I was mute until I was 14 or 15. So coming out of that to an adult phase, it took a long time to find my voice, believe in my voice. And when I finally did start believing in my voice, in my writing, pen, the first thing that came out of me was grief. I had lost a lot of friends along the way, and one of them was my friend Angel, who, when they were still here and I was not writing at the time or performing, they would encourage me every day. You should write, and I would show them things occasionally. You should write, you should perform, you should speak. And this was over a decade before I would end up doing that. And that would be 6 years after they passed away. I'd like to share this piece with you to open up this event. I'm very grateful to be here today. This piece is titled, The Grief My Angel Gave. Angel, my friend, I miss you so dearly. I miss hearing your soft inflection. I wish we had more time. I promised you that in time I would write and speak, to quote, it's like a tickle in the mind and throat, growing and growing towards such a raging ferocity that I fear I will drown in before my time. So hear me now, angel, it is time. Do you hear me? Yet, of course, I can't pretend. I know. Your time is behind us. My time was ahead of us. Our intersection was gone too soon. I wish for a resurrection in my mind. I hear you and I quote, "They found a tickle in my throat." Except it was too late, not as if swept away by raging waters. Rather, yet it dripped down, creating a quiet infection while you slept. Your time was behind us before I could even pray for an angel to tend to my beautiful friend and put a stop to this painful descent into the cold, dark abyss of lost time. I miss you, angel, my friend. Please, reascend. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Grove, and I'm so happy to be here. And this piece is a letter poem to fit in with what we're doing here tonight. It is actually a version of this is getting published at the end of this summer in an anthology called If You Ever. It's a beautiful sort of collection of a bunch of different women's voices. But this particular piece is addressed to my best friend's daughter before she goes to college. If you ever need to get your wiggles out, go to the gay bar on Church Street so you can dance freely without uninvited fingers dancing up your skirt. Where the men in the ladies' room with the glittered lids, they never lick their lips when they see you and say, "Oh, what I do to you." They simply pass the lipstick and whisper, "Girl, you're fabulous." If you ever need to hide from your boyfriend, choose a bathroom because the door almost always locks and you can turn on the shower, run the faucets, flush the toilet again and again and again and again until all you hear is ocean. Better yet, before you let a man attempt to love you, quilt yourself with women. Knit yourselves together with the water balloons you drop from your 5th story dormitory window until the RA writes you up. With the mud from the quad when you do acro yoga until you're drenched bone deep. From the dramatic reads of that naughty book you find in the library giveaway pile until all the talk of the sweaty chic and the panting princess weave all your sisters into stitches. So that when that purple night falls, when you turn the water off, you tiptoe from that tile-floored bunker to see 2 hate-shaped holes punched through your closet doors and find yourself laughing. Because at least it's not you splintered on those knuckles, it's only particle board. Listen, there is no right way to leave. Just leave. You're allowed to want a life that doesn't bruise.
I fell in love with someone I never met. Well, we met, but it was always through the barrier of a screen. We never met in person, even after years and years of saying we would. I met this man when I was 18, and he was 10 years older than myself. I met this man online, and he said I had a nice smile. He would have me send pictures of my smile. He lived in Canada. He told me I was beautiful, sexy, and would look at every part of me with an intensity I never received and selfishly loved. Our long-distance relationship lasted 8 years. This man saw me evolve from a teen with pimples and braces through my early 20s to my mid-20s. He loved me. Throughout those 8 years, I dreamt of him often, even in my waking reality. I would see him at the college frat party. We would randomly spot each other at the airport. I would grab my passport and run away to have an apartment with him. He would take care of me. We talked a lot about these scenarios and more as we stayed up late just to have a shared moment together. When I think of him then and even now, he was like a parenthesis filled with multiple exclamation points. He was real, and yet he wasn't real. He existed, and yet he was my secret. He loved me, and I was selfish with his love. I was scared. I was scared of him. I was scared to allow myself to go deeper into my feelings for him. I was scared to actually meet him. I was scared for the secret to be out. I was scared for the illusion to fade. One of the most hurtful things I have ever done was to him. After 8 years, I wrote him a long and no doubt complicated letter. I thanked him, I told him I loved him, and I told him to never contact me again. The last thing he ever heard from me was the last sentence he read in my letter, which said, "I am sorry for my part in all of this." Letter writer from Portland, Oregon.
Dear Arnold, hi. This is the first time I have written a letter to you. I was reluctant, a little shy actually. So I realize this is probably a bit outdated, but I don't remember if there's an answer or not, to your credit. Was the ferret in Kindergarten Cop a girl or a boy? And what was the ferret's name again? You two were fabulous co-stars. I saw that movie with my family and later with my kitten, who turns 5 later this August. Your advocacy, adamancy, and strong verbal skills, including your thick accent, helped me recover from oral surgery. Wow, right? Anyway, thank you for being a funny person. Signed, not Randy Newman, James Taylor, or Tom Hanks. Letter writer from Jackson, Oregon.
Baby, I did the wrong thing last night, again. We both know why, and we both know it's my fault. You were an angel, and I blew it completely. I know you feel the same way, and I know you're justified. So now it's Saturday afternoon, and the reality is sinking in that I've lost you. It hurts so bad, and I'm so sorry. I want to try again, but I know you'll never trust me or love me again. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've lost till it's gone? God, I'm sorry. Love, always. Jay. Letter writer from Santa Cruz, California.
To some, my life might look like a failure. I once had it all. A husband, a home, a beautiful baby, everything that's supposed to define a perfect life. But I lost it all to a man too weak to live alongside a woman who had found her strength. For too long, I lived in a haze of denial, trying to preserve the image of a life that no longer served me. It wasn't until our son began showing signs that he was different, something beautiful and unexpected, that I realized where my true strength lay, in protecting and advocating for him. I walked away from the life I knew to escape the oppression of a man emboldened by a growing ideology I could no longer ignore. Let's just say I had no interest in his version of making America great again. Now, I live as a single mother to a disabled child in low-income housing in Bend. The odds of escaping poverty on my single, I'll bet, decent income here are slim. But I refuse to let anyone, especially myself, define this life as anything but success. This journey has stripped away everything superficial and has revealed who I truly am. I found my voice. I found my power, and I will never stop using both to protect my son. Our lives may not look like the dream I once imagined, but they are full of love, freedom, and strength. And to me, that is everything. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
I miss my baby. It hurts. I want to wrap her up in my arms and hold her, squeeze her. How is it to be a mom and not be with your child? It's a deep pain I've only known on the forever journey from the hospital to our home. Without our baby twice. The sadness is unbearable. Almost can't live with it, want to yank it out of myself and throw it out to the universe. I have to go through this fucking bear hunt, and it fucking sucks. Grief. I miss her so much. I'm sick. Like when I was in labor with her and in so much pain that I nearly threw up. I will see her tomorrow. I will hold her, squeeze her, feed her, love her, laugh with her, play with her. Then let her go. Again. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
To my childhood neighbor, I stole your VHS of The Sound of Music. To my grandpa, I stole the $20 from your bedside table. To my third grade teacher, I stole your pencil sharpener. To my high school librarian, I stole all the Harry Potter books. To that person at my college, I stole your North Face jacket. To myself, you haven't stolen anything for some time now. Keep persevering, even though you are tempted daily. Letter writer from Redmond, Oregon.
Dear myself, as you know, I'm very hesitant to open up myself. My life had more trauma than I want to confront. And I know, and no one really knows or needs to know about it. I don't ever want to hurt anyone, my siblings, my family, my friends. And I definitely don't want or need sympathy. I am not a victim of my past. And all the things I've been through have very little bearing on who I am today. With your help, I've learned to let go and forgive. The pictures in my head from the past can be shoved away, and I can focus on the brightness of today. It's my future that is the scary thing, not my past. It's the darkness we are facing, not knowing when it's going to come. That's what I want to run and hide from. My therapist says sometimes the only way to get to the other side of the fire is to go straight through. I'm tired of getting burned. The scars are not healing as easily. And the worse the burn, the uglier they are. I guess I don't want to be scared. It's for life. I know we have chosen our current path. How do I protect myself? Financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Yes, I said that. Forgiving and forgetting are getting harder. So how can we keep doing what worked for us in the past? Those are the questions I don't have the answer to. Maybe you can help. Love yourself. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dear Evan, remember when we were in college and taking that class about Shakespeare and our teacher made us choose sonnets to memorize? One of the exercises our teacher had us do was to find a partner and recite our sonnets looking straight into the other's eyes. Your blue eyes looked into mine as you recited Sonnet 66. Tired with all these, for restful death I cry. It was, and still forever is, one of the saddest, most heartbreaking performances I have ever witnessed. Perhaps because it wasn't a performance at all, but you, in what I think may have been your subtle way, telling me a deep truth. That following Saturday, I woke up to a knock on my bedroom door from my housemate. He told me to get up because we had to go to a special meeting at the theater. When I asked why, he said it was because you died. When I asked why again, he said it was because you had committed suicide. I can't articulate the exact feeling of that moment, but I remember the flash of your blue eyes and the sound of your voice within your sonnet telling me that for restful death I cry. It disturbs me still to this day, and I do have shame that as your friend, I may have failed you. What didn't I see? What didn't I hear? What could I have done to make you not do that? I have many questions, but one that particularly stands out is this. A few days after your memorial service, I got a call from you. Your name, Evan, popped up on my phone as it vibrated in my hand. I answered it. It was your sister. She said she was calling numbers that were unanswered on your phone. She felt it was something she had to do. I asked her how she was doing, and she said, okay. Then she said, actually, I'm not okay. You called my brother. He didn't answer. And I just wanted to know what it was you were calling about. I don't know, I said. I still don't know. I called you hours before your life ended, and I don't know what it was I wanted to say or ask. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dear Sugar, I lived in Central Oregon. We had several cultural events canceled due to safety concerns. Yet, Ben Brewfest continues in Drake Park. Widely as mostly white-dominated community valued beer over a black and brown lives. Sincerely, an accomplice, not an ally. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dear you, I loved you. God, I did. Not perfectly, not always gently, but fully. Even when I didn't know how, even when fear spoke louder than care, even when I pulled away just to feel close, you probably felt alone beside me. And I hated that because I was trying not to be right, but to be enough. I held on after your heart stepped away, not because I didn't respect you, but because I didn't know how to lose you without losing myself. I turned you into a place to beg. Not because you were less, but because I didn't believe I could be more. I made your love the answer to a question I hadn't asked myself. I needed you to see me because I didn't know how to see me on my own. And I'm sorry for that. You didn't owe me your body just because I was breaking. You didn't owe me peace because I couldn't hold mine. You weren't mine to hold like that. I remember when you smiled and made me believe in love again, how we built dreams from the car and hours would go by, but it was all right because I was by your side. It was perfect, precious. It was ours. Until I thought I had to get more to feel loved, to feel seen, but that was never our dream. Time melted in the background. My fear of it faded. Those days, unhurried, unbothered. Back then, that was enough. Before I turned you into a prize, before I stopped looking you in the eyes, you weren't something to win. You were someone to hold when the world moved too fast. When you felt alone and two hearts beat in sync. We had a beautiful thing. The thing with beauty, it often ends in tragedy. No rival families, no poison, no daggers. Just mental health's quiet story of insecurity. I used to measure love by length, as if time was the only currency. Now I know. Some flames aren't meant to last. They're meant to illuminate, to change us. Then they return to the stars they came from. We were incandescent together. Too bright, perhaps, to last. But I'd rather have known that light than to have lived in shadows, never knowing how radiant two souls could be when they recognize each other, even briefly. We left, maybe we had to. Maybe you were right, even if it wrecked me. But I won't keep carrying the weight. I won't keep replaying every silence, every look, every moment I should have been better. We were trying. That's enough now. You taught me my love isn't ownership. It's not a grip, not a fix, not a reason to stay when staying means disappearing. But I'll remember you, not as a wound, not as a wish, just a part of the road. A sight to see, not to stay. Because I am a wanderer, not lost, not running, just someone who keeps moving. Not to escape, but to become. It is my gift, my curse, but it is mine to carry, not yours. And if you ever need to cry, or feel like you want to die, read these words again, because what we made, some would kill for. And I couldn't have done it without you. Be well. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dear Bob, remember? We spent hours on the phone in rambling conversation, enjoying each other's company. Twice a year, your birthday and mine. We were dreamers then. We've lived whole lives since, raised our children, buried our father. You were so kind when Dad lay dying of cancer. Your gentle spirit and weekly bread delivery brought comfort to us all. What happened? Throughout Mom's decline, you've been there, but bit by bit, your gentle spirit is replaced with a harder version of you. Serious, angry, defensive. And it began when she entered the picture. I didn't like her from the start. Bossy, domineering. The wedding was a surprise. I still don't understand why you didn't invite me. Perhaps you were ashamed of her even then. She is the puppet master and you her marionette. She lived in our childhood home while Mom recuperated from a hospital stay. What was supposed to be a temporary situation became permanent. She made Mom dependent on her for medication, meals, and transportation. She controlled the purse strings to the insurance money when she carelessly left the bathroom heat lamp on, causing an attic fire in Mom's house. Then there was the 6 months in an extended stay hotel while the house was repaired. I found Mom's iPad in her drawer along with a letter from Mom's niece when I came for a week to care for Mom. What else did she hide from Mom? She dismantled Mom's social network, then talked the doctor into medicating her because she was irritable. And you believed her every word. When her verbal abuse and gaslighting came to light, I stood with Mom and asked her to leave. But she sabotaged efforts to find a compatible live-in caregiver to replace her. She poisoned the process by sowing doubt with deceit. Instead, we arranged daytime caregivers. But she dropped in unannounced to boss and bullied them. The turnover was high. She persuaded you that Mom couldn't handle her finances, so you printed a power of attorney from the internet. But neither of you understood what it meant or how it worked. She convinced you Mom wasn't capable of handling her own mail. So you opened a post office box and withheld Mom's key. Once a week, you delivered the mail you wanted her to see. Did she get any of my letters? I mourn your gentle spirit. You never yelled at me before. I'm not allowed to speak with you unless she is on the speakerphone. We have no secrets, you tell me. Oh, so you must know the police escorted her off the premises when the elderly gentleman she cared for before Mom said she hurt him. I barely touched him, she claims. He was being difficult. Yeah, difficult, defiant, irritable. These are all variations of how she sees people who don't agree with her. I long for rambling conversations with you. Those days are gone. You have become serious, angry, defensive. I mourn your gentle spirit and am left only with a harder version of you. Signed, your loving sister. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
To whomever finds this letter, I hope you are able to manage your emotions better than I. Recently, I was struck with the decision to break up with my partner after 3 years together. It has been a month since I broke things off, but we continue to live together in a 2-bedroom apartment. Things are amicable, but I feel like I am playing a game. When we were together, I was feeling smothered by his love, but was never shown love in a way that I wanted to receive it. The fantasies I had as a child of the way my Prince Charming would shower me with affection and know my boundaries were shattered around year 1 of dating, but I prevailed. I stayed to protect another's feelings while turning into a shell of myself. I was so lost. With the busy life of a college student ready to graduate, I avoided the issues I had journaled about between us. I pushed away my feelings of doubt and lack of feeling love. it took me an entire year to figure out the thing making me unhappy with life was the one thing that was supposed to give me the most joy. Now that we are still living together, I am consumed by my thoughts and emotions. My dreams still revolve around him. My daydreams hover in a state of bliss that was rarely achieved. My reality finds disgust in the dirty dishes in the sink for days on end and the kitchen being a mess. We communicate better than ever now, but I still feel I am sacrificing a part of me when we are together. I still have so much care for him and want him in my life, but I fear I have ruined everything. I would love for this to be a movie where we learn to grow and change on our own, then in 10 years fall in love as the more adult versions of ourselves. But I am doubtful of my dreams. What should I do? Is there light at the end of this tunnel? From your friend, the hopeless romantic. Letter writer from Lincoln County, Oregon.
Dear Mom, do you remember that one time I got lost at the grocery store when I was little? I was holding your hand and let go for a brief moment to grab our ritual box of animal crackers, and suddenly you were gone. I was so panicked. My 5-year-old brain thought I would be lost forever. I ran the seemingly never-ending aisles with tears blurring my vision as I cried out for you, the anxiety and worry increasing with every step. Then I heard it, my name. The relief that flooded my body when I heard you was so immense. You took my hand and wiped my face and said, "It's okay. I'm here, baby girl. I would never leave you." But you did. You left this life and left me behind. It's been years since you died, but I feel as lost and angry as ever. The intense emotions may not hit as often anymore, but when they do, it feels unbearable. I know I can survive this because, well, I have so far, but let me tell you, there are days when I'm not so sure I want to. There are days when I wish I would be taken so I could see you again instead of just seeing you in my dreams. I'm in the quieter part of my grief. People have stopped checking in. Lives have moved on. I don't hear your name as much anymore. But there is a constant river of melancholy coursing through me every day. I glimpse myself in the mirror and see you. I finish a book and want to tell you about it. I do my grocery shopping and tear up when I see your favorite snack. The truth is, I didn't just lose you. I lost the way I see the world. I lost the version of myself who had hope and lived with more optimism. Every inside joke, secret, and memory only we shared are all gone. My soul is silently screaming into the ashes of the future we dreamed and discussed. I got thrown into a story I never asked to be a part of. I don't want a lesson or some metaphorical mountain to climb so I become stronger, like some fucking phoenix rising out of the ashes. I want my mom. The night you died, I held your hand for as long as I could. You weren't there anymore, I knew that. But I wanted to engrave into my memory how your hand felt in mine, so soft and fragile. I wanted to stay with you forever. Letting go ripped my heart into pieces. I often feel like the 5-year-old frantically searching for you in the maze of grocery aisles. But this time, I know you aren't looking for me. I know I will never find that reassuring hand to hold. I know I will never hear you call me baby girl again, and even now, it's getting hard to remember what that even sounded like. I am forever the lost daughter searching for her mom, never to be found. It's the quiet ache for home that will never go away. I know you wouldn't want me to be sad, but I didn't want you to die, so touche. Signed, your lost daughter. P.S. I love you. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
My spouse and I have raised 2 well-adjusted children who are now successful adults pursuing their careers. Hooray for us! I also am employed by a good company where I am a mentor to others in my department and tasked with documenting and keeping documents up to date on the work we do. Hooray for me! I am also a creative, visual arts and performing arts. That is my favorite thing. Every personality test I've ever done through various jobs throughout my working life has always come back that I'm a creative person and should be pursuing a career in a creative area. That would be great, but it just won't pay the bills. I love creating and sharing with others, and I'm told by others that I am talented and I'm good at what I do. The issue comes in the fact that I feel like an imposter. I have this little voice that lives in me. It is always there nagging at me. Most days, I can ignore the voice. But sometimes, usually at night, when the world is quiet, the voice gets loud, shouting at me. You know, someday everyone will realize that you don't know what you're doing, and they won't allow you to do the things that bring you joy anymore. I know this is just my insecurity that lingers in the background. I know I probably need to talk to someone, a counselor. However, the issue is I also have anxiety. When I think of seeking help, my anxiety kicks into high gear and basically immobilizes me to the point where I can't do anything. I hope all of this is normal. But I really hate the battle that rages in my mind between my insecurity yelling, "You are an imposter," and my confidence stating, "You're good at what you do." I hate it. I hate that it keeps me awake at night, more so now as I get older than it ever did before. I sometimes wonder if I'm the only one or if everyone has these little voices doing battle in their heads. If I could verbalize this out loud, it may help. But again, anxiety. I will continue to do what I do because it brings me joy during the light of day. And I will continue to deal with my insecurity shouting, "I am an imposter," in the dark and quiet of the night. I hope that if I write it down and share it with the world, even anonymously, it may help. I'm a big believer that you need to live your truth, and this is my truth. I hate it, and I accept it. It's a part of me. It drives me crazy, and it motivates me to keep moving forward and prove to the negative voice that I am not an imposter, that I do know what I'm doing, and even if I don't, that I really am good at figuring it out along the way. But then night comes, and the voice gets loud again. So, there it is. Shared with the world, my insecurity and my anxiety. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dearest baby Hope, your daddy and I are so sorry that you couldn't grow and develop enough to come and live with us. You weren't in Mommy's womb very long, but we loved you so very, very much from the moment we knew you were there.
Never was any baby ever loved more. Mommy tried to stay as healthy as possible in preparation for your arrival, and Daddy took such good care of Mommy and told you every day how much he loved you too. We both made lots of plans to provide a happy home for all of us. We had such hopes and dreams for you, so that's why we called you Hope. We don't know why you left us so early. Only God knows for sure, and we pray that he is hugging you to his heart and loving you. Mommy gets so sad sometimes and misses you so much. It's as if a part of me was ripped out. It hurts so terribly. Maybe someday the aching will go away, but never the longing to see you and to hold you and sing to you and tell you how much I love you. Your daddy and I plan to have other children whom we pray can stay with us until we get to heaven to be with you. I hope God will tell me then why he permitted you to be taken from us so early. Until then, have fun playing with all the other children who left this world before birth. We do envy your nearness to Jesus. In my disappointment, he sometimes seems really far away. Tell him, Hope, that I'm trying my best to hang on and trust him, one day at a time, one step at a time. I miss you, Hope. Your daddy also sends his love. Hugs and kisses, Mommy.
Dear Hope, your mom and I are writing you letters. They are just to let you know how much we miss you. God must have had a reason to take you from us so soon. Only he knows for sure. We'll see you when we get to heaven. I miss you very much. I was looking forward to seeing you grow and sharing the many wonders of the world together. I want to let you know that there wasn't anything that we wouldn't have done for you. We both express our feelings for you in different ways. Your mom breaks down in tears. Myself at times too. But mostly, I feel angry. Angry because there are so many children that are unwanted by their parents, while we wanted you more than anything in this world. Mom took such good care of herself to make sure you were going to be healthy. She took vitamins every day and even gave up caffeine before we even started to try to have you. I made sure we had eaten well also. We did everything possible. We even talked to you, just to tell you that we loved you. We're going to try and have a brother or sister for you. When they get old enough to understand, we will explain to them what you meant to us. We will never forget you. With all my love, your dad. Letter writers from Wayne County, Indiana.
Dear Sugar, I am estranged from my 20-year-old daughter. She does not return my text messages. She lives a few hundred miles away. It breaks my heart to not have contact with her. I've offered for us to go to therapy together, and written heartfelt letters and texts and emails, and I just don't know what to do. The explanation her mother gave is that it's too hard to interact with me without any details. I've racked my brain trying to think of things. Her mother and I divorced when she was in kindergarten. She was with me almost half of the time, and her brother was with me half of the time. I always connected better with her brother, but I tried to connect with her, doing things like science projects and cooking. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough. She came out as transgender when she was 15. She was assigned a male at birth. I always accepted her, but maybe I didn't empathize with her enough. Her mother got into a new relationship with a woman and eventually married after we divorced. I've had several relationships, including one for 5 years with a woman whom my daughter bonded with. Did my lack of relationship stability cause us to disconnect? I would usually have a few glasses of wine or beer with dinner. I didn't think it was a problem at the time, but in retrospect, it was. I was not as present and connected as I could have been. Was this the problem? I would like to have the opportunity to reconnect with my daughter. I am willing to own my part in this, to apologize and hopefully move forward. But I get no reply from any communication. Do I just need to wait? Sincerely, estranged and confused. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
After what seems, in hindsight, to have been a very quick physical and mental decline over a 10-month period, my husband died in my arms. In the middle of the night, while we were going through what was very common then, complete baths and sheet changings nightly, he was so exhausted as he stood gripping the bathroom counter, his only job. I heard him make a strange noise. His eyes opened wide, a look of astonishment and panic passed over his face as he crumbled to the floor. I caught him just before impact and somehow managed to lift him in a sitting position on his walker. I called 911, performed CPR on the cold tile floor until the paramedics took over. We had a few minutes together before they arrived. He tried to speak, but he couldn't. He gripped my hand as I told him in sobs I loved him, that I would be okay, that it was okay for him to let go, that he was safe and that I was here with him and would not leave him. His eyes never left mine. He had a look of complete and utter disbelief. Then he gasped, took a few labored breaths, and died. I knew he was gone. I knew it the way you simply know things like this, especially when you've seen and faced death so many times as I have. You literally see the lights go out of someone's eyes and you know the life force that was once that unique human is gone. A handful of friends responded to my calls and came to my house in the middle of the night to be with me. We all sat together while police and paramedics did their jobs, giving me updates every 5 to 10 minutes. Then a chaplain appeared. The process played out over a few hours, including ruling out foul play, just part of what authorities are charged to do when someone dies at home. The first responders were amazing in every conceivable way. I gathered the names of each person, wrote multiple letters expressing my gratitude for their kindness, professionalism, and genuine human warmth during the worst moment one can imagine. When the last stranger left, suddenly it was just me, 3 friends, in a house with a gaping hole in it. A missing person who was never coming back. I know now I was in shock, but I'm pretty sure I was composed and already thinking of what needed to be done immediately, and I could not imagine facing it. Cleaning the bathroom. You see, when we die, certain physical things happen. As every muscle relaxes, everything inside simply gives way. When people die in hospitals, this reality is managed. At home, natural death is exposed without filters. To compound the situation, my husband's his body was moved from one end of the bathroom to the other, a distance of 15 feet or so. While continuing CPR, they pulled the blanket off our bed, rolled him on it, and dragged him quickly across the tile to a wide space on the carpet where they cut his clothes off and spread out their equipment to perform all the life-saving measures they're trained to do. My master bathroom and bedroom reeked of death. It was an unholy mess, covered in bodily fluids that streaked for many yards, all the way onto a large open space of beige carpet at the bedroom entryway. It had to be handled, and the thought of facing it made my knees buckle. 2 friends who had been with me throughout the night said, "Stay here, we've got this." And they took care of that gruesome scene to the point that the only sign death had been there was a small rusty stain on the carpet. And I was able to live with that, enough to step over it as they put me to bed. For weeks, maybe even months, life was a blur of challenges and change. The experience reminded me of Jodie Foster in the film Contact. I felt like I'd been launched through a wormhole that paused occasionally, but never really let me completely regain focus before. I was off again so quickly to parts unknown, I didn't have time to be frightened. But I remember that night vividly, and the 2 friends that performed a kindness for me that to date is unparalleled. Letter writer from the Shutonian.
My mom died 673 days ago, 5 days before her 78th birthday. I guess 78 is old, but to me it feels like middle age. Her mom lived to be 88. After she died, I started counting. How many days she lived? 28,484. How many more days I would have seen her if she had lived to be 88? 1,040. This assumes twice a week for 10 years. I only missed 3.2%. Not that much. I can live with that. How many days I saw her? 7,835. That's most days until I turned 18, 10 times a year when I lived out of state, 2 times a week when I moved home. I saw her almost 30% of her life. So that's good. I do the math all day long, round up or down to make myself feel better. When she was dying of a stomach that didn't work and kidney cancer complications, she told me, "This is ridiculous. I have 10 more years." Right after she died, I made a vow to grieve her for 10 years until she would have been 88 and I would be 61 and my new puppy Morrison would be 10. If 88 was her expected lifespan, then she lived almost 90% of her life. That's good. But on a 78-degree day, I think 100 is hot. 78 isn't even close. She died when most Americans die, 78. I wonder if I will die at 78, which is in 25 years and a couple of months, 9,226 days. She was 27 years older than me. I made a list of my age on the left and hers on the right. I was 22 and she was 49 when I called her from a Seattle payphone to tell her about my first real job. I was 30 and she was 57 when she wanted to show me the Grand Canyon. Brimming with excitement, she flew out of the car after we parked at the rim and said, "Look at that thing!" I was 39 and she was 66 when I introduced her to my now husband, Ian. I was 41 and she was 68 when I moved home. I was 49 and she was 76 when we locked down during COVID-19 and spent a year visiting each other in the yard. I was 51 and she was 77.9 when she died. I'm envious she was 60 when her mom died. She got 939 more days with her if she saw her twice a week. But she cried in the bathroom the morning of her mother's death like I've never heard her cry before. So maybe the 939 days don't matter. I wonder how I'll feel at 78, if it will feel old. I had a dream the other night where my mom and I were lying with our heads together, and I asked her how I was going to get through this despair of not having her with me. At the same time, we both answered, I/you will be with you/me every day. A friend of mine told me it took her 7 years to grieve her dad. Another friend told me 3 years is a good mark for when the pain loosens in your chest. I have 8 years and 2 months, 2,981 days left in my 10-year grief plan. Morrison is now 2 and gigantic. We adopted her brother Arlo, who was born 1 month after my mom died. I sometimes call him by her name to see if her soul went in there. He doesn't answer. The first year after my mom died, I thought about her every second, so 86,400 times a day. Now it's more like every 15 minutes, 96 times a day. I imagine it will keep going down a few times a day. Sad, but a relief. Our bodies know how to do it. So I'll keep counting. Letter writer from Deschutes, Oregon.
Dear child, it's been a very long time, most of a lifetime. I'm writing now to share truths I wish you already knew in your charmed period of youth. It's only from this distance that I'm fully aware of what could have been and what is. The opportunities taken, chances missed, and the persistent desolation of loss. Know that I think of you every day. You are the foundation of what I give thanks for in my morning prayers. That's not an exaggeration. It may be obsessive, but sometimes I long to rewind the years and take a different path. To fight against a life-changing move half a country away from everything that matters and remain there in the bubble of joy and innocence that surrounds you. Likely, I would just follow in my own footsteps. The past offers no do-overs. Stay very close to those who are the most loving and loved. In my time, they have been gone for decades, and I miss them constantly. While you still have them, hold on tight and say often how cherished they are. Please don't take any of the precious life you're living for granted. The magic ends when you're 11. Life gets hard early and heartbreak lingers. Don't be afraid, it gets easier to carry. You'll even forget for a while, but the shards of sorrow always return, smaller but sharp. Then fade until the next remembrance. Unfortunately, the weight of loss will turn you inward, relying only on yourself. You'll live in the past almost as much as in the present. It's a dizzying tightrope, but grief will make you strong. Anger keeps you walking forward. Love keeps you looking back. I won't spoil your discoveries by revealing all that happens in the future. It would be unkind, and too much foreknowledge might cause you to overlook the miracles. So, just a few points. Mother can't settle, so you'll move a lot. Some for the better, some not. Leaving places and people behind and starting over will make you reluctant to be vulnerable. The cost of friendship is pain at the inevitable parting, but friends lift you up and understand you, so no matter how brief the connection, there are amazing benefits. Give at least as much as you receive. Your career will be extraordinary and fulfilling. Enjoy and learn from it. Expect to experience love multiple times, but it's always worth it, even when it ends or never really begins. There was one possibility I didn't take, and I can't forget. But some sentiments should remain hidden, even from myself. There will be mistakes and a few really bad choices. Some of those will haunt you, but trials help you grow, and redemption is real. You were born and raised surrounded in faith, so cling to those beliefs and pray. God is the way through. Live your fullest, best life, and never forget the halcyon days of youth and the people you have loved the most. Those memories will carry you in difficult days. Forgetting is my greatest fear as I age. Surviving the years that followed so much loss enables me to finally love myself. Blessings, little girl. You can't go home again because home has ceased to exist except in the mothballs of memory. John Steinbeck, letter writer from Crook County, Oregon.
That unfortunately concludes our evening. Can we just hear a round of applause? Come see the show. We have 3 left. We will open it up for just a brief talk back. You're welcome to stay or not. Maybe just talk about your experience with the show or what we just did today. But it's not mandatory. But if anybody wants to like popcorn, maybe a feeling or a word, that's it from this. Yes, ma'am.
Understood.
Understood.
Transparent.
Transparent. Yes. Any other words?
Teary-eyed.
Teary-eyed. Any questions at all that maybe folks may have about the project, or I don't know. I mean, to be honest, they were given the letters. I was compiled them and somehow put them in an order to figure that out, and they were given them yesterday.
Wow.
So, I think my advice to them, I just said, don't just read it. Give it some emotion. Give it some feeling. Maybe either of you all want to share what it was like to read these letters?
I am so happy I didn't cry. Every time I practice at home, I cried. So it's just powerful and understood. I mean, it just creates it fosters more empathy. And a lot of people are going through a lot of things. And so to walk around and kind of just have that kindness, knowing that you don't know someone's world, but they can be going through something that you could never imagine. I think it's very important.
Yes.
I completely agree with that, and I think that's one of the things about the Tiny Beautiful Things show is that one thing that we have heard just over and over and over again at the talkbacks that we do after that is that people are craving connection, right? Like right now, everybody just feels so separated from each other, and there are just too many things out there that make people feel like they're alone. And this project and this Tiny Beautiful Letter project have, I think, opened up our eyes to the realization that that's something that we need. And so, anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I would say one of the difficult parts was listening to how just impactful the delivery were from readers, and like you get sucked into listening to them, and I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, like trying not to tear up, but it really takes you in that moment. And I think, especially as a writer, I think there's magic when you can take something that someone's feeling and bring it to life, and I think that really touches you when you can be taken there. And I think this is such a beautiful project, and it really takes you into insights of what people are going with. And I think there is a really immersive experience you go through just listening to these phenomenal readers up here, and the passion and the stories. And yeah, it was a journey that you don't expect, and an honor and pleasure to be here. And I thank all of you all for being here too as well.
And if any of you wrote the letters, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say to that point, it was just really cool to see like the vulnerability in so many of these letters, and that takes a lot of bravery to put your heart out there. Even though it's anonymous, you're still putting your story out there, and that can be very scary. But I think what's cool, and what so many of us have already touched on, is that we were able to find a connection and see this authenticity in these people and their stories, and feel connection and heard. And we all share this crazy thing called the human experience, and it is hard and it is difficult, and it's so nice to not always feel so alone in what you're experiencing. So it was just an amazing experience, and thank you, Craig, for doing this project, and thank you for my fellow actors here to read it with us. It was an honor, and it was so fun to just, even just got yesterday to quickly rehearse and go through it. It's been a wonderful experience, and thank you all for being here too.
So I have to do a shout out is I want to thank the Dupolis. They won the competition in Ben Redmond of a Poetry Month competition, and Mel won the competition in Redmond, very powerful pieces, and I thank you so much for participating.
So, to get on a mailing list, just go to your website?
Yes,
Okay.
etcbend.org. You can sign up for our newsletter. We do have our 25-26 season we just announced. We'll be doing 2 touring productions. We also have a program that we call ETC Next, which is like new, exciting, experimental theater, just an acronym for your world. And then we have another immersive program production, which is Rabbit Hole. But exciting things for us. We also have a brand new musical that we're co-producing with Silent Echo Theater Community. Bola's in it.
Watch it, please. It's amazing.
It's called
powerful.
Voiceless, a musical. Let me look at that title, right? It's great. It comes out in late July and August. We've been workshopping it for over a year and a half now, and it's going to get its first big world premiere production. So yeah, sign up for our newsletter. Find us. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, at etcbend.org. And maybe this tiny, beautiful letter project will become a bigger project.
Yeah.
But thank you for being here.